everybody. Good evening. Hope you guys are doing great. This is Roseanne Reed, the Dream Monetizer, founder of this group, and I have a special guest. See how she look nice and fresh, hot boss. Miss Tricia Brian Lewis. Lord God, I'm mixing up the name. She's the CEO and founder of Liquids Smoothie and Juice Bar in St. Anne's Bay in Jamaica, and she's our special guest tonight. She's going to be sharing with us her entrepreneurial journey. And so, as we get started, I'm just going to invite a couple more persons to join us live, and I want to also um, just remind you to give StreamYard access to the live as you're coming on. Click the link so that we can see your comments and questions. All right. So I'm going to introduce Tricia Shirley. Oops. Okay, hold on. All right, that's the phone. But I'm just going to make sure that I invite a couple persons to the live. Hold on 1 second. Hi, Anna Kay. As you're watching, guys, please make sure that you come in and give StreamYard access so that we can see your questions and comments. So Tricia is going to be sharing with us how to grow a business with a team. She has a team. She has not done her business single-handedly since inception, and that's different compared to a lot of persons who start the business. She has started with a team, and so she's going to be sharing that with us. So I am going to be just inviting a few persons to come onto the live to watch as we just went on. All right. And please make Tricia feel welcome. All right. So this is the first she's live with us in the group. So as we get started, one of the things that we're going to focus on is the benefits of entrepreneurship, right, Tricia? Entrepreneurship have benefits.
Right.
All right, cool. So we're going to talk about the benefits of entrepreneurship. So I'm going to officially introduce her. I was just waiting until a couple more people get live, but we are going to go ahead and get started. So as I said to everybody, welcome. If you're watching the replay, please type hashtag replay. If you are watching this video after we do it, still post your questions. We'll come back and ask the question, and answer the questions. I mean, so feel free to ask the questions even if you're not watching live with us. I'm going to come back and answer the questions. All right. So, who is Tricia Barron Lewis? She's the owner of Liquids Smoothie and Juice Bar. She's also a professional in the Ministry of Health who works as an assistant nutritionist. So she doesn't just have a juice bar; she actually has experience in nutrition and has been working with the Ministry of Health in this field for over 10 years. She has a bachelor's degree in nutrition and dietetics from NCU, Northern Caribbean University in Jamaica. She's also completed level 1 nutrition coach course with Precision Nutrition Company. Mrs. Lewis is a business owner and is currently the owner of Liquid Smoothie and more. She thrives with a philosophy that says anything you put your mind to, you can achieve. And trust me, guys, when I tell you, Trisha does not allow any challenge or um anyone that comes up with things that's going to stop her from achieving her goal to block her. So I'm happy to have you with us tonight, Trisha. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, maybe something other than what we shared in the Bible. Um, yeah, and what's been your vision behind starting Liquids? I know you and your husband had started it. What was the vision that you guys had for Liquids, and how has it been establishing that vision, that dream, that idea that this is something that could work and benefit other people?
Sure. Good night, everyone. Thanks for the invitation to join you this evening, Roseanne. And I am more than happy to assist others, giving them some inspiration towards their plans to become entrepreneurs and to have their own businesses. So my journey started. Well, before my journey, as the introduction says, I'm in the nutrition profession, and have been for over 10 years actually.
Mhm.
So I know I'm in the community area where I go to different clinics and I deal with persons who counsel persons who have chronic diseases, the diabetes, the hypertensions, the underweight, the overweight, babies, children, so forth. So coming out of this, my husband and I, we because there's in the town you find a lot of fast food companies, businesses. There's not much entities that do healthy foods in the area and the community that we work and so forth. So, you have a lot of fried chicken and fries and rice and peas, and persons now are leaning more towards the healthier options because, persons want to live a little longer. They want to spend less money on medications and more on the healthy lifestyle. So,
Mm-hmm.
coming out of that, um, my husband and I decided that we are going to embark on this new vision of starting a smoothie shop. There wasn't any of this kind in St. Anne's Bay area. Ocherios, which is close proximity, has quite a few, but in the St. Anne's Bay area, you don't really have a lot that promotes healthy foods. So we decided that we are going to, embark on this. We started hunting places to open shop. We did up our business plans. We went to the banks. Of course, we know Jamaica and the bank system and with startups. Nonetheless, we decided we're going to use our savings that we had and see if we could start. So we got a spot down in the market, near to the food market in St. Anne's Bay area. So we decided that we're going to go with it. I mean, most persons would be hesitant because of where it is and it's close to the market and so forth. But we decided that we're going to push forward. We prayed about it, of course, because you cannot leave out God out of whatever you're doing.
Oh
So
no.
we prayed about it and we moved out in faith that, hey, we're going to try this thing and it's a good thing and it's the basis of our religion as well, our Christian beliefs. So we pushed forward. So we opened and we got good receptions. Of course, we did the background into, well, of course, me having a background in nutrition, so and in terms of portion sizes and so forth, because if you're going to do healthy, you also have to look at the portions in terms of, I don't want to go too much in nutrition profession right now.
Yeah,
You
but
have to
no,
look
but
at the,
people will
you look at,
understand. Like,
you have to look
so,
at,
yeah, people will understand because this is an important part of business. Like, you can have something as a hobby, or I can make smoothies at home. Like I do make smoothies at home for my family, right? But at the end of the day, when you're doing it in a business, it is more important and more serious, especially when you're going to be selling it to other people, like
right,
how
right.
you proportion. So even though that might not look like something important, that's an important lesson for anybody else who's starting business to know that hey, whatever you're putting out there, you have to make sure that it is done properly, structured manner. In
Right.
your case, it's in the health industry, so the portions need to be right because it can mess up somebody whose body might be out of balance. Am I
Yes, it
correct as a
can. It can.
nutritionist?
It can. It can. So
Right?
you really
Yeah.
have to
So,
look at the portions,
mhm.
because of course you're going to be serving persons with different chronic diseases, and you don't want to set them off balance. So you have to look at the portions as well. Yeah. With business also, you have to look at structure. And especially if it's a business that includes other persons working with you, you're going to be having employees, you have to have a structure. You have to have a goal in mind, your vision, and a structure. If you don't have a structure, then everything went tumble down on you. So after doing all of the testing, of course, we did testing too. So I'm a church-based person. So what we did for our testing, we one Sabbath afternoon, Saturday evening after church was finished, we chose couple of the items that we're going to be selling, and we did them in the portions at church, and we had a taste test evening. So we got a feedback from our potential future customers, how it tastes, what we could tweak, and so forth, which was very good. So after doing all of that now and doing the
So
tweaking, yes.
let me pause there to pull out a strategy. You need
Mm-hmm.
a taste test first. That's
Yes.
research and development before you start the business.
Yes.
Continue.
Research and development. You
Yeah.
have to do your
But
market research. It's called market
yeah.
research.
Yes,
You have
market
to do your
research.
market
Yeah.
research, whatever area you're going into, whether you want to do a survey or if it's product, you do your sampling and then you get feedback as to then you know how to proceed.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that and then we opened up little after Easter, I think we did in 2018. And
Mm-hmm.
then 6 months, so we're going into the journey now. 6 months after we opened, 7 months after we opened, tragedy struck. So I lost my husband, which was also my business partner. And
Mm-hmm.
that was very, 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 very detrimental. Still detrimental, but yeah. And
Your
then
condolences.
thank
But
you. Coupled with that, I had just given birth to baby number two.
mhm.
So the incident happened 3 weeks after I just had baby and so forth. Um, for me, luckily, I think a month before, Roseanne came. She came to the shop one day. I was not there. My husband was there, and I guess in their dialogue, she introduced what it is that she did and how, tips and so forth. So my husband said,
Actually, Liquid saved my life. To tell you the full story, Liquid saved my life because the truth is, I was actually pregnant when I met Shavar. And when I'm pregnant, I usually try as much as possible because I'm aware of how what we eat affects the development of the baby's brain when you're pregnant and stuff like that and can affect their life and learning. So I was like everywhere, like I was heading to work and everywhere was junk food. And I was like, I can't find anywhere healthy. I was actually going to the market and I saw the sign and then I went over there and I'm like, I had an idea to start a smoothie business, right? And when I went in there and he told me that he made the smoothies out of coconut water, I'm like, thank God, somebody is doing it. And I don't have to do it. So I can continue doing what I did. And then I asked him how was business and I told him what I do. And he said, hey, we're gonna need your services. So let's keep the link. And he gave me a card and stuff. And guess what? I've been a Liquids customer ever since. So yeah.
yes, yes,
All
yes.
right, go ahead.
So, right. So Roseanne came right in when everything was crumbling around me. Now being a widow, the on solo business owner now, having to deal with everything, having to deal with the boys, having to deal with business and so forth. So then she reached out to me and we had our meetings. And I have not regretted it from day one. I have not
Mhm.
regretted the meetings, meeting Roseanne, because she was not only able to identify and assist with the challenges, but she was also a mentor. So, and that is also important as business entrepreneurs. It's good to have mentors. Remember, you don't know everything. You won't know everything. You're still learning as you go along. Um, but you need someone who has the know-how in business that can assist you and who's somebody who's on the outside looking in saying, all right, when you bring your challenges, then the person can say to you, all right, let's do it this way, let's do it what you think about this way, and then you can, because remember, you're on the inside
Mhm.
frustrated. Things might not be going how you wanting it, you expected it to go, because you had a vision, had something in mind how you wanted it to go forward, but
Yeah.
then somebody on the outside looking, somebody who you think you can trust, and that's very important.
Trust.
Somebody who you
Okay.
think you can
Wow. I like how
trust.
you pull that up.
I
People,
have to say that somebody who
I
you
like
think
how
you
you pull
can
that up, and
trust.
I appreciate that. I
Yes.
appreciate that because the point of the matter is this is a truth now, and persons who are whether you have an existing business or you plan to go into business, this is something that's very important. And today, as we were training on how to get paying clients, how to find paying clients easily, this is one of the most important things. Trisha trusted me because of one reason. She didn't know me from Adam. Even though I'm a Sabbath keeper as well, I don't go to their church, right? I know of their church, but I've never been to their church, and I didn't meet them before, other than meeting Shavar at the store. When I connected with her, I touched base with her after Shavar had passed because that his passing devastated all of us. Several of us in the circle knew him and stuff. And I just reached out to her to say, hey, how you're doing? Not for business, not for business, like literally. Even though Shavar and I had talked about business before, I just reached out to her, as another sister to say, hey, how are you coping? How has life been since, right? Because a lot of times we take for granted that people are okay and that everybody else is checking on them. And at the time, she said, wow, like, thank you so much for checking on me because nobody else ain't checking on me. And I'm like, what? Because you know what? Of the people who we know who I thought, hey, they would be the first people to check on her. And that started the conversation. And then when she heard that I had met Shavar before and that he had said he wanted to work with me, she said, hey, let's talk about how we can do it because I really need help for sure. And so trust is important. It was not that she knew me from Wapikill Philip. It was that I added value. Her husband added value to my life. I added value to his life by saying, hey, this is a service we have. This is what we can offer. And so, because of that, she said, okay, if my husband was going to work with you, it means that I can trust you.
Mhm.
Okay. So, this is, I'm saying this, guys, to show you the importance of adding value to the community before you try to sell somebody. All right. And so notice she was talking about trust and she just kept repeating trust, somebody that you can trust. Because when it comes to business, you're dealing with money, you're dealing with your business plans, your marketing, the future of the business, right? And you have to think about who you're going to share what you're doing with because people can take your ideas and run with it. And that's something that happened to me in the past. So you also have to be very careful who mentors you, right?
Yeah.
Who guides you, who is leading you. Are they confidential or are they going to take your ideas and go and start it and call it their own and pretend as if they were the conceptualizer of the idea, right? So continue, Tricia. One thing I want to bring out is or no, not bring out, what I want to ask you is at the time when we talked, what was your biggest challenge, especially knowing that why your business is unique is that you do manufacturing in terms of the fact that you have to make smoothies from scratch, or wraps or whatever, because you do, and also tell them exactly what you do other than the nutrition. You do smoothies, but you do some other things as well that are healthy,
Okay.
right?
Sure.
Also, tell us what was the biggest challenge in continuing to grow a business with a team, because
Okay.
that was what I know. So you have a full-time job, you have two young children, you just lost your husband. I've seen you do some things, I've walked with you through some challenges, which I'm not going to say all of them here, but I've seen how you have responded to challenges, which trust me is epic. May I give you about 10 crowns for that? But because most people would give up at that point. But whenever you call me to say this is the challenge, your answer is not no, I'm going to give up. Your question is, Roseanne, how can we fix this? How can we work through this, right? So, what was the biggest challenge you were having as it relates to your team? And
All right.
did you get over that? Because a lot of people might have a solopreneur business, but they don't actually have a team.
All right, sure. So for my business first, I do smoothies, green juices, I do wraps, I do salads, I do oilless fries and burger combos. So nothing fried. So as we're saying, all on the healthy, and of course, my smoothies are natural fruits that are in season, and we use coconut water, we use the agave, or we sometimes we use honey, depending on what is available to us. So that's some of my products that I have. Team, working with a team. When I met Roseanne, I had a challenge with team and the turnover, the employee turnover. Because sad to say sometimes, and it's the reality, when you do have persons who, when they get comfortable, working in your business, they do some things that not pleasing to you as the employer, So, having the challenge, of course, when you're employing persons, you put them on probation, observe them going through the process of their job description, what is expected of them, and then you can evaluate if at the end of the probation period if you would continue or release them. Of course, you put all of that in a black and white, which is very important also.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you're doing as it relates to employees, you have to put it in black and white. Because if it is not in black and white, the black and white trust. So put everything in black
And
and
black and
white.
white, she means legal. She means
Legal, I
legal.
mean written,
That's what, so
written, written.
for her, so
Because
for
God
everybody else.
forbid, God forbid it's not there and they take you to Ministry of Labor and then you have to be ironing out a lot of things. So everything, put it in black and white, put it in writing. So my challenge when I met Roseanne was staff turnover. Because I found that after persons get comfortable, then they start slacking off and not doing what they are expected to do. And especially in my time, having a full-time job, dealing with a baby, and at the time Rain was what, 7? At the time, Rain was 7 or 8 when the incident happened. 7. So dealing with that, having to deal with him and his issues, the baby, and my personal, issues, challenges
Because
as
you
well
were
with the
also
home
grieving at
and
the
all of that.
time.
I decided that I'm not going to give up because, of course, that vision that we both wanted, and so we decided that I'm not going to throw in the towel. And there are going to be days when you really feel like you want to throw in the towel because you have to be dealing with the employees and ensuring that they do what they're supposed to be doing, ensure that consistency of the product is kept, ensuring that customer service, because especially I'm working with a team and they're dealing with the customers. So I'm not there some of the times to deal with the customers myself. So I have to ensure that the team that I have employed, their customer service is up on par. They are consistent with the products that they make to send out to the customers. But then, as I said, the slacking off began, and then I had to be changing. I had to be changing employees. Start out good, and then down the road they drop off, and so that, and of course, customers want to see consistency they want to see familiar faces. Right, so they'll start out seeing this person, and then down the road they don't. So they get used to this person making the product for them, and so forth. And then couple months after they don't see the person, so they kind of get weary now of this new person that is there, and they're not sure if the person can make it or the other person used to make it. So you want to ensure that the team that you have, they are willing to work. They see the passion that you have. They may not have the 100% passion that you have, but at least more than 50% passion is very important. So in dialoguing with Roseanne, she gave me some pointers as to what we can do. We have to, especially she pointed out the importance of ensuring that customer service is there, because if your workers don't show good customer service, then our customers are going to go. They're not going to stay with us.
So
So
basically, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was saying, so basically, when we started working together, that was your biggest challenge, high labor turnover, which is not good for business,
Yeah.
especially a business that's face to face, where people dealing with customers every day, right? And so now that has, how is that now? Is staff no more permanent? How has that been? Then, so what we did was that we had a staff empowerment session. That was
Yes.
what I had recommended. I went in and sat down with Tricia and her team and spoke with them to identify what the problems were. We identified the problems and then we worked through them with subsequent sessions, right?
Right.
So how tell me how it is now versus how it was, and where have you seen the difference in business and your profitability and stuff?
Since minus COVID, of course, but since
Yeah, minus COVID. We don't COVID
since
for everybody. But separate and apart from
separate
COVID.
apart from COVID and its
Right.
challenges with slowing down of business and so forth. But in terms of you coming in and doing the empowerment sessions, we saw improvement in the employees that were there at that time. And of course, it boosted the business because They know they are demonstrating more interest in the customers, putting the customers first more than just coming and doing what they feel they want to do. So there was improvement for that. Of course, those persons that you had dealt with moved on. Some went to school and some moved on to tertiary education and so forth. But nonetheless, the information that you gave for the new persons that came in, we did sessions with them just the same. So the information still
You were still able to
still within
use
within
those
the cycle,
strategies,
of course. So you want to ensure that everything is maintained. Um,
right?
right. So we were able to boost our customer sales as a
Mm-hmm.
result of it, because the workers felt more comfortable and they demonstrated increased customer service. So it helped in terms of customers coming in as well. And they did their best to promote the business and upscale. I'm not sure if I'm using the right term.
Upsell, upsell.
Right, thank
So we
you.
will
Upsell
upsell,
the products, right,
yeah, sell more products and services that you need.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So,
upsell, yeah.
yes, so that
Mm-hmm.
was a plus. That was a positive for us. I mean, you coming in and identifying the challenges that I was having at that time, and then we working through it for
Mm-hmm.
good result, getting good results. That was very good.
Mm-hmm.
There. Then we moved on to we relocated after COVID started. So we actually are now on Main Street in St. Anne's Bay, which we're on the main, so it's a little bit more traffic coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had a few again, cause I mean changeovers in staffing, but the ones that we have now in terms of the team, very
Good.
good. Chemistry is good. Because of course carrying over the information again that you had discussed. Then I was able to impart this information over to the new set and
Mm-hmm.
ensuring constant reminders of what is expected of
Mm-hmm.
them. We'll have monthly meetings as you had suggested too. We have regular meetings with them. So we have monthly meetings, with them, and the reminders and so forth, and
Mm-hmm.
ensuring that you want the team to feel that they are part of the family. You ask for their suggestions, and if going through analyzing what they suggested, if you see that it's something that will improve the business, because remember they are the ones who are interfacing with the customers. So having a
Mm-hmm.
team, you have to listen. You have to learn to
Mm-hmm.
listen to your employees, because they are the ones who are interfacing. So if they come with a suggestion, of course the suggestion is very feasible, then run with it. But you
Mm-hmm.
have to ensure that your team that you're working with feels like they are part of the family.
I
And
like that you said that. Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
yeah, they're part of the family, the team. They'll work better because they feel that their input is accepted, and they can contribute to the business, not just selling the products for you.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And so I like the part that you said. So for those of you who are planning to grow a business, because one of the things that's going to happen, if you are in the group and if you have joined the G Monetizer Challenge and are implementing those strategies that we've given you, one of the things that's going to happen for your business once you implement the strategies that we teach is that your business is going to start to grow. You're going to start to get more business. You're going to start to get more interest, right? What Tricia just said, point to note is once she started understanding how to involve her team, they started to sell the business more without her having to do anything because her team was motivated, right? They were now motivated to do more because they felt like they were a part of the business. And so that's what she said. She made them feel as if they're part of the family, right? And including them in the process now helps them because the mistake a lot of business owners make is that it's, oh, I am the boss, okay? I'm Roseanne Reed and it's only what I say goes. I'm Trisha Lewis and it's only what I say goes because I'm the
Mm.
boss. No, hey, you do that, but then you alienate the rest of the team and you put yourself on a pedestal that makes it impossible for you to come down and reach the people who really are making your bread and butter, because the team, you couldn't do it without the team. Like I couldn't do it without my team. At the end of the day, I mean, I have 4 kids. Usually, when post COVID, I was also in ministry. Tricia was also in ministry as well, with young kids and all of that, and clients to serve in different parts of the world. At the end of the day, you're going to be defunct just doing it by yourself. So if you don't involve the team and let them feel like they're part of the process, you're going to end up losing out. So I just wanted to point that part out, as she said, that it is very important that you involve in the decision making process and listen, like really listen,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Because we tend not to listen to each other. And if you guys pay keen attention to what she
Literally,
said from the beginning, for those of you who are just coming on, welcome. Thank you to Elaine, Sharika, Trudy. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching the replay, one of the things I want to say to you is also pay attention to the details, right? And you can only
Mhm.
do that by listening. How we got to this point for even Trisha to work with me was because I listened to what her husband said. And then when I called her to check on her, I listened to what was her
Mhm.
challenges. She, in turn, now, after I started mentoring her, learned how to also listen to feedback from team members, feedback from customers, even, right? Because the customers
Mhm.
wanted to see the persons who they usually see every day, right? Even the moving to the new location was because of customers, right? Because customers were uncomfortable with the other location. So, in closing, Trisha, one of the things I want to ask you is, what would you say as motivation to somebody who is growing a business with a team, or maybe just starting out in business, or maybe they have an existing business? As you know, with COVID has come a lot of challenges, of which I know your business has been one that has experienced some, because your business is not online, your business is a storefront business.
Mhm.
What is some of the motivation that keeps you going? Because trust me, I don't know it. It's like I struggle, but my husband never pass on and certain things. So, when I look at you and you just keep going, coming like Energizer Bunny. But I want you to share some of that enthusiasm and stuff that keeps you going to encourage other business owners. What would you say are the main things that, as a business owner, you need to have to make sure that you continue creating sustainable and viable income through your business model?
All right. So because you actually started with a vision and you started with that passion, you have to find ways to maintain that passion. There are going to be low days, but you have to, when you have those low days, you have to think, what was your real purpose of starting this business? For those who are already in business, what was your reason for starting? If you can remind yourself of the reason why you started, and there are good reasons, I mean, outside of making money, because we're
Yeah,
all here to make money to survive.
yeah,
But
yeah. It have to be outside of making money, because at the
outside
end
of
of the day,
that,
money is everything. Yeah.
right, outside of that, what was your real reason? What pushed you to start the business? And if you can keep reminding yourself of the real reason why you did it, then that is a stepping stone for you to say, hey, when I drop, get up, brush off, and go again. Because
Mm-hmm.
you remember you're benefiting persons. You're offering a service that persons will benefit from in the long run. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you're growing, you have to always think of ways to, because remember, especially if it's a business where you offer similar services, you have to think of ways that you can promote, market, improve your business. What can I do different that will attract customers to my business? So you do your research, you go on YouTube, or sometimes you'll be sitting and watching TV, and an idea comes to you, write it down. Write. That's another important thing to write. Jot down. Because sometimes some little things will come, and another day you're thinking, what was I thinking the other day? And you can't remember. Write it
Don't
down.
only for books and cards.
Right. Write it down. Write it down, because you
Yeah.
might never know when the opportunity will come and when you're able to launch this idea that you had. All right. And then you can go back to the book, to say, all right, I did this, so I can do this now. So it's very important for you to write, very important to always keep in at least in the back of your brain there why you started what you do or why you want to start this business.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So then that can be a driving force as well. For those persons who are in business with a team, don't leave your team out. It's very important because you need the team, especially if you're not in the business physically, you need the team to ensure that the business survives. So if you
Mm-hmm.
treat the team bad, you know the team can treat the customers bad. So you have to strike that balance with your team. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I'll have customer appreciation day for my team members. I mean, I'll just come and I'll just
Show
carry
some
pizza for them.
appreciation to
Yeah,
the team.
of course, yes. I'll have my things like a puppy and
That's
a
very
Friday
important.
because
You know,
because
you need
I'm
staff
Friday.
appreciation.
Of course we do, we
But
do,
I
we
know what
do.
you mean.
You
So
have
just
to
when you treat the
appreciate your
customers
team.
special, you treat the staff special. So
Yes.
that's what you mean, right? Like so, because a lot of businesses keep customer
Customer
appreciation,
appreciation,
but they
yes.
don't give the staff
No,
anything.
you
So
have to
you make
treat your
sure so
staff
the
good.
staff get as well.
You're not going to spoil them, but you
Yeah,
treat them. Let them feel
let them feel
appreciated
involved.
in
Yeah.
the job. Even if it's sweeping, let them feel
Mhm.
appreciated in the sweeping that they're doing. So
Yeah, that's very important.
you have to
That's very
appreciate them.
important.
You're not going to do it, I mean, ever so often, but from time to time, just let them know that you appreciate what they're doing, because if they weren't there, you can't do it by yourself, right?
Hmm.
I can't make smoothies all by myself. You still need a team to
Yeah.
work with you, especially like I said, if you're not in it. So you show appreciation to your staff as well, outside of the customer appreciation times that you will have. All
Hmm.
right. I mean, it's not a matter of, as some persons say, getting chummy with your staff. Or of course, you set your boundaries, but you recognize and appreciate your staff. So that's very important. So you're right. Write down every idea that comes to you, whether it sounds stupid or not. Write it down. Then you also want to remember why you're doing why you started, what you have started, why you want to start what you want to start. And for those who want to expand and have a team, ensure that your team feel appreciated, then you will get more out of them. If they can see the passion of why you started what you're starting, they might not have the high levels of passion that you have, but if you can communicate it to them and then let them feel a part of what you're doing, then you'll get even better results in your business. And the market, of course, you have to market your business. If you don't market, you can't get customers, so you have to
Yep.
ensure you do that.
So market. So there's a couple things there. So the vision, writing down things. Okay. So staying involved in what the vision is, the original purpose, and your why for starting the business. And then the next one is showing appreciation to your team and your staff members. All right. And then the others is making sure you market. People need
Yes.
to know what you do, how you not even how you do, but what you do and how you can add value to their lives. So Tricia, we want to thank you so very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us tonight, right?
Yeah.
In terms of working on your business and sharing the entrepreneurial journey. We know entrepreneurship is not easy. Being an entrepreneur as well as being a mother is not easy. Trust me. So we want to thank you for taking the time out to come and share with our audience tonight in the Dreamers Marketplace. And to those of you who are watching, this is showing you a snapshot of what you will get if you join us for the monetizer intensive that we're going to be having. That is actually live already in the group. The offer is out live. So the monetizer intensive, what you're going to be getting is guided support to help you set up all the systems that you need to have in business, so helping you to create that framework. As Tricia said, the strategies that we gave her prior to now, right, is what she's still using in the business to this day, right? But we're not going in doing these sessions every day. We did those sessions before, but all of what she got from us during the period that we mentored her, she's still able to use that to consistently grow her business. All right. So, Trisha, thank you so much for coming. Guys, if
You're
any of you have any
welcome.
questions, those of you who are live, do you have any questions for either Trisha or myself? Any questions as it relates to growing your business with a team and stuff like that? Any questions from anybody who is on here? Um, okay, Trudy says, so right, Trish, it's very important to know your why. Having trustworthy business partners very important indeed. And she says, okay. Also remember your why can't be just to make money. It needs to be something which will keep you going at times until things get rough. Yes, so, and that's what Trisha actually said. Like it has to be bigger than money. So I would tie that to what is your purpose? Like what are you called to do? What do you feel God created you to do in the earth? And if you don't know that, usually I encourage business owners to stop and figure that out because the challenges and the hard times will come whether personally or professionally, and so you need to have something to hold on to that's going to keep you going through it, right? So I don't see any questions, so we're going to sign off now and let Miss Trisha get back to her family. And thank you so much. Elaine says, like the team appreciation, great idea. Yes, I think that's a good idea as well. The team appreciation and not just letting it be customers. So thank you for sharing that with us, Tricia. Anybody else have any questions before we sign off? We're about to end the broadcast. Any questions from anyone else? No questions? I'm just checking to see. Okay. All right. Not seeing any questions. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching the replay, thanks for watching as well. I want to welcome you and thank you for watching. Please post your questions and your comments, even if you're watching the replay. I'm going to come back in and check the questions. Trisha is also in the group, so she will see if you have any questions for her as well. We want to thank you so much for taking time out to be live with us tonight and also to watch the replay if you're watching the replay. So take care until next time, see you guys. Bye.
Bye.